How's it going, guys? So in this short clip, I'm going to talk about 5 tricks in order to maximize your USMLE study in the least amount of time. How to save time, how to knock out the exam, whether it's pass, fail for the CBSE comp step 1, or whether you're trying to get a high 2CK step 3 score. So the first point I'm going to make is the phone has to go away. Okay. Now, if you've been following my content, you're going to see that this overlaps with things I've discussed before, that there's different techniques around the phone. Okay. The first is you can use a timer where if you're going through QBank, then I've said do blocks of 10 untimed tutor random, and you can have the stopwatch going on your phone. You know exactly how much time you're spending actually studying versus the amount of time that's passing during the day, and you can keep accountability. You can look at your efficiency ratio that way. So you start the timer, phone goes away in your bag, you're not touching it. Do the block of 10, nothing but that block of 10. You can take the phone out, pause the timer, check your messages. Phone's got to go back in the backpack again with the timer going. I've made clips talking about that, okay? And I'll talk about this stuff more, but that's one mini point. The second is you literally just have your phone gone altogether, okay? If you're a content creator, if you're running a business, which I actually don't think is most of you, then you really don't have a reason to be touching your phone for most of the day. Okay, there's people who say, well, actually, I don't need to do the timer thing. I literally will go to a cafe and I leave my phone in the fucking car or something, right? So that's one way to do it, is it's literally nowhere near you. Okay, if I'm trying to get work done right here, my phone, I'll throw it in another room. It's literally like nowhere around me. I have to do these tricks as well, all right? So that's the first trick. So there's 5 tricks, OMG, okay? The second, and this was a video I just put out, is you have to just handle the stress / ADHD because you don't have another option. Okay, when people say, how do I handle anxiety? How do I handle the stress? How am I gonna be more disciplined? How am I gonna be more effective? All these questions, we can talk about the nuances, concrete steps you can take, that's fine. But the convergence back to the main point of you have to just handle it, because recognize that studying for the USMLE is not just about the knowledge acquisition. It's a filtering mechanism. It's a screening test for those who are not able to handle their emotions, or those who are not able to have sufficient discipline. The licensing exams weed those people out who say, well, I learned, but I just get anxiety. Right, well, you're weeded out as a physician, because we don't want physicians and surgeons, family med docs, who can't handle emotional perturbance and anxiety. So that's never an excuse for poor outcomes in general or with patients, okay? So we said the first is just your phone is away. The second is just you're going to handle stress. You got to just do it, and you got to own it and recognize that if you can't do that, then you're weeded out. So it's a psychological screening test preparing for the USMLE. The third trick / hack to performing better and saving time is recognizing that the rarity of the results you hope to achieve should be directly proportional in terms of your behavior. Okay, I should say the other way around. So your actions have to match your ambitions. Your actions have to match your big fucking mouth. Okay, so you get a lot of people where their actions are the 50th percentile. They're just procrastinating. They're checking their messages all day. They do like 3 hours of study. They don't feel like studying. They take these long breaks. Maybe you're better than others. Maybe you're studying literally at like the 80th percentile. You're like not bad, but you have ambitions to be scoring at a level where you're in the top couple percent or higher, right? So your actions have to match your big fucking mouth. And if you don't have a big fucking mouth, then in terms of discipline, in terms of saving time, you got to recognize that just the outlook you have in your mind, the rarity in the population of those people, it's not an accident almost always. If you take 1,000 people off the street and 5 of them have certain characteristics, wealth, residency placements, whatever outcomes that you could imagine or that you find value in, there's a percentile in their behavior and things they do that aligns with their position in the population. So largely these things are not an accident. So The third point is that the rarity of your behavior has to match the rarity of the outcome you're hoping to achieve. Okay? So the first trick or slash hack is phone away altogether, use a timer. The second is you got to just handle stress. It's a psychological screening test that'll help you be more disciplined. The third is if you recognize that the outcome you're looking to achieve is linked to the rarity of the behavior you have, you're going to buckle up and say, no, I got to fucking work. I got to do this shit because I want to accomplish big things for myself. So the fourth trick slash hack is you got to eliminate loser people from your circle in your life. Okay, so for basically any person who's in your orbit, people virtually or texting, friend groups you have, anyone you're interacting with in real life, you have to ask yourself if you want to be more or less like that person. If there's somebody who's giving you advice and you don't want to be like that person, then don't take fucking advice from them. Okay? This is controversial. People have different views. If there's people close to you, family, certain friends that are not going to be cut out, you can audit the amount of time you spend around them. Rather than talking to a certain negative person once every 3 days, maybe you talk to them once every 3 months. You cut down on the amount that you're interacting with certain people. People who are at the higher end of the success spectrum are more isolated. It's not to delve into these cliche topics, but it really is the case that people become more and more isolated when they move to the right because there's very few people that are going to relate to you in terms of the behaviors you're looking to implement to achieve the goals that you have. So don't surround yourself with loser people, and you got to surround yourself with people who are closer to your ambitions. And the good thing about social, because normally social is highly destructive, but in general, social is you can follow certain influencers who are positive, and that literally becomes your circle. Okay, it's like the irony being that we're more connected than ever via social, but we're more isolated than ever in real life. But follow some positive people. Stop checking dumb fucking politics or like random dating fucking shorts or whatever the fuck you're looking at that's a waste of time. Follow like business influencers, people who study, people who work. Like recognize that the input you have that literally drives your mentality. It's a big factor. We can have our internal locus of stability and drive, but external influences matter. So surround yourself with positivity. The fifth trick slash hack is going to be, I've talked about this, have a good gym routine 6+ days a week. Okay. And it's not just about going to the gym, workout, cool. You have to understand that it's a synergy that if you have the discipline to go to the gym and you maintain that when you don't want to go, that's a feedback mechanism, a positive feedback mechanism on you working as well and studying when you don't want to. Okay, so people who achieve the most success, they work specifically when they do not want to. If you've been following my Instagram, my stories, you know I've talked about this a lot recently, that literally what makes you not average is working specifically when you do not want to. You say, I really do not want to do this right now. It's the last fucking thing I want to do. And you say, I'm going to do it anyway because it's not about how I feel. And the more you're able to do that, the more you pull away from the average. This is really fucking important right now. Most people just simply say, I don't feel like studying right now. I'm not going to study. I want to like eat this food right now that's like not healthy for me. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to go to the gym. I don't have a good routine. That's like most people. Okay. And the more you have outputs, you work when you specifically do not want to. The study you do when you specifically do not want to. That's how you pull away from the mean. And when we talk about the rarity of your behavior in relation to the results you hope to achieve, that's basically how you do it. So the 5 tricks slash hacks here, as we said, your phone, it's either toss it in the fucking car, leave it at home, literally, okay? Or do the whole timer strategy we talked about, in and out of your bag, check your messages, but you got to have fucking discipline, okay? The second, we said, you got to handle stress. You got to just deal with it. You got to own it because it's a psychological screening mechanism for this exam. So you got to develop that locus of discipline. Really important. It's going to help you study more effectively. Third, we said the rarity of the results you hope to achieve, your actions have to match those. Okay? So the things that you do with your time, you're going to have a big fucking mouth and you need to act if you want those big results. Okay? Fourth, we said, is eliminate loser people. Surround yourself with positive people. Surround yourself with positive voices on social. Okay, cut out loser friends. The fifth, we said, is have a good gym routine. You know the deal. To make more content and stuff, Appreciate your time. That's it.